What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. So originally I was planning on going to this Las Vegas Raiders game, but the way our season turned out and the way the offense is performing, not a chance. But I may end up showing up to a tailgate or something, so we'll see how that goes. But ultimately, we're here to talk about some of the final roster moves ahead of our game against the Raiders, and it's fairly simple, actually. It's probably our least complicated in terms of changing of personnel and additions to the roster, elevations, all that good stuff. So what we need to know is we've elevated 2 players from the practice squad, Xavier Newman, our guard, and then Malik Taylor, our wide receiver. And Malik Taylor makes a ton of sense, right? Especially if we end up seeing Randall Cobb on the inactive report again, basically as a healthy scratch. Robert Saleh already explained during one of his last 2 previous press conferences, having the ability for having Malik Taylor's special teams ability really just kind of beats out what's currently going on in that wide receiver room when it comes to other players like Randall Cobb, who aren't going to be a primary contributor within this offense, and especially based on what we've seen, really. So no surprises there, but with Xavier Newman and Malik Taylor, we do need to be aware of the fact that this is their 3rd elevation, which means now Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh are going to have to sit down, make some business decisions. We can't elevate them again for a following game. We'll either have to send officially sign them to the active 53-man roster, or we're going to have to let them live on the practice squad for the remainder of the season. I hope they don't get signed elsewhere. So this could be a potential situation where you really start considering shutting down Randall Cobb for the season. I know Allen Lazard's coming off of I think it was the knee injury that was lingering that he ultimately played on last week. But, if somebody else goes down, it opens up an immediate spot for them. And then as far as Xavier Newman goes, I'm assuming he's going to be getting elevated into a starting role, right? We have Billy Turner that's officially out. And so you're probably looking at Mekhi Becton, Laken Tomlinson, Joe Tippmann, Xavier Newman at right guard, and then Max Mitchell returning back to right tackle ideally, which is what I think the offensive line will realistically look like. And it may not turn out all that bad, actually. So we'll see how things go there. I know we're facing Max Crosby, a few other players on our Raiders defense that are, balling out a little bit, but nonetheless, in terms of some of our moves, I know a lot of us are interested to get Roger Saffold into the fold right away. That got shut down pretty early. Basically, we're still working on his football conditioning, getting him back into game day ready shape, and not just better than a couch potato, right? So having the Pro Bowl guard come back into the fold should help out quite a bit, but we're going to have to wait at least another week for that. Again, Billy Turner out with the finger. He just had surgery on that. Seems like he could potentially come back for the next game, though. Scary thought either way, but we'll see what happens. Dwayne Brown also out. He's still coming back from IR, still within his 21-day practice window. So seems like the Jets are comfortable taking every bit of time that they can there. And I feel like it's ultimately because they're going to try to move Mekhi Becton just to get our so-called 5 best players back on the field once again, which for a number of reasons, I think you're seeing Mekhi Becton's final season with the New York Jets. I mean, he's one of those guys. I think we've done a great job of getting a lot of team first guys, but with a lot of the trials and tribulations we've seen certain guys have, I think the flip-flopping will end up being the nail in the coffin for Mekhi Becton and this New York Jets team. Now, ultimately he may not have any say-so. I know I heard people mention the franchise tag being out there, stuff like that. But this might be one of those situations where you try to amicably, distance yourselves and go your mutual ways. Chaz Surratt, our linebacker, he's out, still dealing with the ankle. And then we have Will McDonald, who may end up being a game day scratch. He showed up late, I think 2 or 3 days ago in the injury report. Again, questionable, but he's also dealing with an ankle. So we'll see how that ultimately shakes out. But again, it's nice to just see that things are simple. I know when I posted the predictions for the Raiders Jets game, and we saw crazy scores, right? I think one was like 42-36 or something like that. Another one was like 3-9. I think one of you guys had a perfect comment though that encapsulated what we need to expect from this Jets offense, at least until we start seeing legitimate progress signs, and that is how often can Zach Wilson lead the Jets to field goals during this game. And for what it's worth, and I actually got to figure out where we ranked in this, but Zach Wilson has been able to lead the team for the most part into the red zone a fair amount, right? It's the fact that once we get there, we can't really do anything with it. Turnovers, penalties, we're having to settle for field goals is basically what we're looking at. But he's getting us down there, and for at least what it's worth, having Greg the leg back there doesn't hurt. But yeah, I'm still expecting a low-scoring game. 13 points is probably the ceiling that I imagine if we solely have to rely on the offense and we don't get any contributions from special teams or the defense in terms of touchdowns. And again, until proven otherwise, I expect a low floor, but we should also be able to go out there and dominate. I've heard some crazy things about this Raiders game, but when you take a look at things for what it is, you're facing a rookie quarterback that was, I want to say Aiden O'Connell was undrafted. I know we did a scouting breakdown on him when we had him in for a visit. You have, two legit playmakers in Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, and prior to Aiden O'Connell, they couldn't really get them in the fold. They've had a little bit more of a breakout game. Devontae Adams is always one of the top guys in the league, so something to be concerned about. But there isn't really anything else, and they're potentially missing a starting tackle in Colton Miller on the line against our defensive line. So, things are in our favor, right? Interim head coach, rookie quarterback, minimal weapons, and the weapons that they do have. Outside of maybe Josh Jacobs, our run defense can be shaky, but we match up extremely well in terms of being able to win out every pivotal matchup you can think of. So we'll see what happens, but I do firmly believe we will walk away from this weekend with a W. So ultimately, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you again. Peace.